All right, Gerardo Vildostegui, 9148 Froud Avenue. I want to start just by saying, when you look at this issue, I want to repeat something I said in an earlier meeting. You've got to remember that in the ideal of so many people in this town, including many of the families, nothing should be built on this property. The only reason why it had to be put up for sale was because there was no other way to compensate the victims. But this, however beautiful a building they make here, it's going to be second best. And it's a heavy weight that you all have to bear, but you should keep that in mind. I have just a few minor points that I want to make here, and they're kind of scattered, but I want to try to get them all on the record. Number one, I have a question. This is the first time I've seen the memorial proposal, I believe. DMAC released some plans earlier this summer to the magazine The Real Deal, and I saw that they had a third proposal, which was not the current plan. It was sort of have your wedding cake and eat it too, where they just weren't bound by the setback at all. If I'm mistaken, please let me know, but I want to know, wasn't there also a third plan where they just did away with the setback? And where did they get the idea that they could do that? Question number one. Question number two is about 88th Street. My understanding was that the reason why the entire block could not be dedicated to the memorial, given by the mayor, was that the 8801 building needed to have driveway access. But in the letter of intent that DMAC has submitted, they also want driveway access. I want to just point out to you that when you look at 88th Street, you can divide the block into 4 quadrants. The southwest quadrant does not have to be given to DMAC for their garbage trucks. They want to have a service entrance on 88th Street, and that's going to mean that the memorial has like garbage trucks coming in and out of it. That would be terrible, and there's no reason why the commission has to do that. That has nothing to do with the northwest quadrant where the 8801 is. And I do wonder, can't you move the 8801 driveway? Can we pay for that? That's a question for another day. That's question number two. Question number three. I'm a little concerned about the chronology of how this issue came before the commission. The issue of secondary frontage setbacks, as you'll recall, came up in April. But at the April meeting, I almost got thrown out for suggesting that that issue had something to do with DMAC, because it was just a general zoning correction brought forth by the town manager. There was an interesting moment when Commissioner Maischeid asked the town attorney, who benefits from this? And the town attorney either could not or would not answer that question. She said she had to do an analysis of all the properties in town. We're still waiting for that analysis, I believe. So I don't know what happened there. Is it the case then that on a completely separate track, we're having a conversation with the developer, how do we get a memorial built? And that exact same issue, I mean, the ordinance here is almost identical to the one we had in April. The exact same issue came back, and now it is about DMAC? And so, that's a very puzzling chronology. It makes me think, gosh, maybe when it came before the commission in April, it really was a favor to DMAC, and maybe I was right after all. But I would like to be clear on how this issue evolved through the attorney's analysis from April to July.
Thank you, Mr. Vildostegui.